You are now listening to a member of the Disney Podcast family. Head over to Disney Podcast Family on Instagram to see all the latest posts for this show and links to other great Disney podcasts.
There was an idea. The idea was to bring together a group of remarkable people, see if they could become something more.
I have an army.
We have a Hulk.
This is the Marvel Tribe, brought to you by Walt's Apartment Podcast and the DisInsider.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Welcome to the Marvel Tribe. What's up, y'all? Well, guess y'all today is Louis and I, because David can't join us tonight, but we're going to be, this morning. I'm just all over the place. Why am I talking?
You really are. If you're asking me, I'm doing pretty good. I mean, I am enjoying today. I'm excited to talk about today's episode. I feel like today's episode is without David here, though. I think it could have been a spicy one, but overall, I'm excited to talk about this episode of What If.
It's always a spicy one when we've got Blurred Hulk and Moon Knight battling in the forefronts. So we're covering season 2, episode 7 of What If Hela Found the 10 Rings. Overall rating for this episode, Lou.
So I want to give it a higher rating because I really don't want to potentially have to rework this story come after we're done with the season. But right now I'm sitting at like 7, maybe a 6.5 for this one. I thought it was good for what they gave us. But two things. One, and I go back to it, it's dead horse. Wasn't a what if question I was asking. I mean, what if Hela got the 10 rings? Did she get the 10 rings? I mean, I guess towards the end, I guess. But I mean, it was for me. Like, I thought her getting the 10 rings, obviously the Blurred Hulk shared it in our group chat. The meaning behind the 10 rings, I loved how they did it. I mean, what we saw was good. I had no thumbs down about that. I enjoyed what we got, but I wasn't asking for that. I was like, okay. But also very much like Happy Hogan in the Christmas episode, I feel like there could have been a lot more cooler characters to get the 10 rings and really go and really play along that storyline. It could have been, you have Odin and Hela. I mean, you could have had Thor and Loki. I mean, you could have even gone like, imagine, I mean, I'm going to throw my boy in there. Imagine throwing Moon Knight in there. I mean, it wouldn't have worked, but it is what if. So, like, it would have been really cool for so many other characters to be thrown into that. Captain America and the 10 rings against Hydra. Like, I mean, you could have played along with that. But overall, what we got, I thought it was really well done. Story, Odin, Hela, bad versus evil, or good versus evil, elements versus gods. I really thought all the contrast of all the different pieces, beautifully done. Am I glad we got it? Absolutely. It's not my what if story that I would have asked for. I think there could have been other characters for the 10 rings.
And I will go ahead and read David's rating. He said 9 out of 10. And this is the part that I agree with the most. This was probably my favorite part, was Hela's transformation from goddess of death to goddess of light. He liked that part. And then Odin was Father of the Year. Wink, wink. Odin was a total POS in this episode. And essentially sacrificed his daughter because she wasn't merciful and ended up being a merciless piece of junk at the end that got torn to shreds because he wasn't merciful. His consequence for his daughter basically slapped him in the face because she became all that she was meant to be, not because of him, but in spite of him. And we'll get more into that. And then when Wu punching Odin in the face with the 10 rings, David was very satisfied by that. That was a great scene. So my ranking, 8 out of 10. I definitely liked the transformation from dark into light. I loved seeing Hela kind of get redemption as a character and not necessarily have to stay in her father's shadow, and being okay with that, being okay with not being the goddess of death. So I really liked that transformation for Hela. I love that we got the 10 rings in What If series. I love that they kept Jinya and Wenwu and Ta Lo. Is that, yeah, Ta Lo. I loved seeing them depicted in animation. So for me, again, I wouldn't have asked for this story like you said, Lou, but I'm glad that we got it. 8 out of 10.
Yeah. I think Hela, the only thing I didn't like about Hela was when she was banished, the confusion of what she couldn't do. I felt like she is such a high enough ranking that she would know that she doesn't have powers on Middle Earth, or no, is it called Mid-Earth, or they called it Middle Earth?
Midgard,
not Middle Earth. Wrong trilogy. But I just
wrong
was like,
fandom, friend.
Yeah, I was like, wait, and she tries to do her helmet and her blades. I'm like, hold on, how does she not know that her powers were ripped from her prior to her being banished? So for me, I really thought they downplayed that a little too much, and like we almost got Love and Thunder kind of comedy from Hela that I was like, don't do that. I love the transformation from evil to good and going from like her black outfit to her white outfit. Like I love that. But when she was on Midgard and there was that like cheesy Thor kind of comedy,
for me, that was a precursor to what she was going to discover about herself later, because that confusion was her being a wounded little girl. Think about it. When you have to give your daughter a consequence, how firmly do you hold to it? Or are you just kind of like you're grounded for a week and then you're like, oh, it's been 2 days. Like,
I'm going to be brutally honest with you, since you used my daughter as a reference, like 2 minutes. The
exactly.
boys,
but that's the thing. Firm. So that's the thing. She's this wounded little girl, and like, Daddy's not really going to give me this consequence. Daddy's not really going to throw me to Midgard without any powers to protect myself.
I got you, but she also wasn't a wounded little girl in this. She's the second rank in this, the way they played the series. Like,
but so we saw that wounded little girl inside of her when she was going through her transformation.
Inside of her, yes, but at the same time, they could have translated that story a little bit better without making it the Thor Love and Thunder or Love and Thunder kind of comedy. They could have translated that whole. I mean, we saw it with Nebula in the first episode. They could have really translated that where it's still her being broken, but still her. I think they went a little too cheesy comedy with it, and I think they could have did a little bit stronger story while also hitting, dude, my dad actually punished me. I think they could have really did that. But overall, what we got, I am not ungrateful for. It was really well done. It was nice to see Odin come down. I mean, because we talked about a few episodes prior that Odin doesn't really, I don't want to say doesn't do nothing, but he's already like earned his mark, so therefore he doesn't do anything. So to see him come down to Midgard and like go toe to toe with his daughter and the 10 rings, I thought that was cool. But he
didn't know he was going toe to toe with his daughter when he came down. He thought his daughter was dead, and his daughter is the one who does all of his dirty work for him.
Correct.
So he's like, there's power there. There's power there. And I'm now the only person who can go take that power because I sacrificed my daughter and now my daughter is dead. He wasn't going there like because he wanted to like honor Hela's name. He was going there because he is being a greedy mother effer.
Well, no, I know, but to see him come off the couch. I mean, we talked about a few episodes back of Odin, and I don't disagree with what you're saying. I just thought it was kind of cool to see Odin come down to Midgard because the only time we've seen that was when Loki brought him down to Shady Oaks, and that was it. Yep. So, I mean, it was cool to see him come down.
Get his ass kicked in Midgard.
I enjoyed that as well. I wish I would have liked to see him throw a few more blows in there and kind of keep his toes for the first half of it, but he really didn't. But overall, I mean, the episode was fun. I enjoyed it. It wasn't like there was no moments where I was super excited. There was no Lou moments where I was wanting somebody that shouldn't have died to die. So I mean, it was I would stick it still at a 7. I won't go 6.5, but it's a 7. It's definitely above the Christmas episode, and I even forgot the other one right after that. But it holds its own for what we got. but it's not high enough because I did not ask the what if question.
Yeah. Okay. So let's jump into this deep dive because we've only got a little bit of time to record today. So we start with seeing Hela basically telling Odin, why stop at the 9 realms? We could conquer like the rest of the world. We can conquer the rest of the cosmos. And she's just being greedy and unselfish and has this like quest for blood. And he tells her like, no, like that's not who we are. I don't want a daughter who can't be merciful. And he rips her powers from her. He takes her helmet and he throws her out through a portal into Midgard, whispers to her helmet with an enchantment that the only person who will be able to don the helmet is someone who's full of mercy or understands what it is to appreciate life. Throws that out too. So they land at basically our scene of Shang-Chi. And that's when she is encountered by Wenwu because his people have found the helmet. They're not going to be able to pick it up though. So it's just got to be someone who is, well, they didn't even try. So we don't know. We don't know if there was anybody there that would have been able to.
Cut you off. There is a key piece of foreshadowing there.
Yeah.
Odin was the one, Hela was wielding, I can never pronounce Thor's hammer's name.
Mjolnir.
But yeah, so Hela throws it and Odin smashes it just like Hela did in Ragnarok, which after seeing this episode and hearing the Blurred Hulk's breakdown, very much kind of foreshadows, or I think that's the right word for it, foreshadows what's about to happen because Odin becomes Hela in that. And I mean, Hela, I won't say becomes Odin in that scene because she wants to still be greedy. But at that point, we realize that Odin isn't the Odin we see. I mean, because he wouldn't have destroyed the hammer. He would have done the same exact thing he did with Thor. Like, you don't deserve this, and cast it out.
Yeah,
that's what
he did with the helmet. Yeah.
Exactly. So at that point, we kind of should have known that Odin's not the Odin we know and would have supported because he wouldn't have crushed that.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. So then we see Wenwu kind of takes a fancy to Hela. He's got a little bit of a crush because he sees that, yeah, there's that she is the queen, like the goddess of death, but he also sees that there's a fire in her that he's not really seen in other people. So he stops their battle scene. He wraps her up with his 10 rings. So she's seeing the power and she's like, oh, damn, I want that. I want that. If I can't have my helmet, I want that power. So they take her back to the village and he's like, will you have dinner with me? And he puts her in this red kimono and he's like, oh, hot damn, this girl looks good. So then she sits down with him and he starts talking about red being a color of, did he say honor? I can't remember.
I want to say it's honor.
And then he goes, most women even wear it on their wedding day. And she spits out her tea and he's like, I'm not proposing marriage. But I think he kind of was a little bit. He was feeling her out.
He definitely was. I mean, it had like a Marvel version of like Beauty and the Beast right there. Like,
yeah. So we see.
You don't have dinner with me, you have dinner with nobody.
So we see some moments where he's definitely trying to get through to her as a person and he's, trying to get to her heart. And she lets him think he's winning until he goes in for a kiss. And then she bashes his head into a table repeatedly trying to take the 10 rings, which she couldn't get. But his guardsmen come in. So she escapes. So she escapes on a horse. What's that little thing called from Shang-Chi? I cannot remember what that little thing is called.
A herald, isn't it?
Sure, the herald, but you can't remember if it's its face or its ass that you're talking to.
Yes, I forgot what it's called, but I want to say his name's Harold with Ben Kingsley's character.
Yeah, so she takes the horse, she takes Harold, and Harold takes her to Ta Lo. Wenwu says, I want her alive because he obviously still sees that there's something in there. Maybe they're soulmates. Maybe he just knew. Maybe they're like twin flames or something. Because there was a reason he didn't have her killed when he very well could have, other than the fact it's great storytelling. So she gets to Ta Lo through the enchanted forest and they know exactly who she is. Jinya is like, we know who you are. Like, what are you doing here? Blah, blah, blah. and she wants to learn to fight like them. So Jinya recognizes that right now her ploy is for darkness.
Morris is his name. Morris is that creature's name, and he is the Chinese myth creature, a Hundun.
He's a Hundun. Okay, well, Morris the Hundun leads her to Talo, and Jinya tells her, like, Jinya recognizes that right now she's doing things for darkness, and she tells her, you cannot defeat darkness with more darkness. You have to do it with light. And Hela's like, yeah, okay, because Hela just wants to be trained in their combat because she doesn't have power anymore. And she sees that they have magic. So she wants to benefit from them. She's using them. But they are keen to that. They are aware of that. And they also know that the way that their training works, that it infiltrates you at your deepest, darkest layers and will bring those to light. So they agree to train her. Jinya does. She's doing all of her training, and they're like hanging up clothes on the clothing line. And Jinya basically comes at her with like, what are you going to do? Like, what is your goal? My goal is to, get the 10 rings. Okay. What are you going to do then? I am going to go take my father's throne. Okay. What are you going to do then? I'm going to take over the entire world, all the cosmos, forget just the realms. And then she goes, and then what? Like, what are you really trying to do? And that's when we get a flashback to young Hela with her little dog thingy.
Dude, it was so cool to see the dog. It was so cool to see that creature again.
Being chained up, and Odin telling her that, like, things that could someday destroy him couldn't have freedom. And that's when Hela realizes that that's exactly how her dad feels about her. He used her, and she will never have freedom. So what she wants is freedom. She wants freedom to be who she wants to be and do what she wants to be. And that is her ultimate goal. And that is her transformation to light. So we see Heimdall say, I've lost eyes on Hela. So they're like, okay, she's dead then. Whoever has these 9 rings or has the power to kill a god, they killed her. So we're going down. Odin just wants the rings, to be completely honest. So Odin goes down with some of his Asgardian army, and they're fighting Wenwu with the 10 rings. Hela shows up after having that conversation with Jinyu, saying, I'm going to do this with you or without me. Like, this is my freedom. So she goes, takes their armor, goes, and she's battling Wenwu aside him against her father, tells Wenwu that they have to separate Thor from Gungnir, which is his spear. And that we get to see some pretty awesome battle scenes. We do get to see the 10 rings punch him in the face, which is awesome. And we get to see Hela take Gungnir. So we see a conversation where she is giving Odin mercy, and she is not going to kill him. And she says, let's just have peace. And he's like, what changed you? Like, and honestly, this is what you sent her here to do. Like, you sent her here to become someone that recognizes the beauty of life and to appreciate life and to have mercy. So her helmet comes to her, places itself on her head, and we get this cool transformation of it turning black to all white, because symbolizes her transferring from darkness to light. And she is going to take Odin's throne now, and she is going to free all of the realms and all of the cosmos. And she's going to make it her goal, alongside Wenwu, to lead a tribe of people that are going to basically create peace in the realms and be the peacekeepers. I thought that was awesome. Seeing Hela go from such darkness, like literally being the goddess of hell, to now being this queen of peace. That was not something I thought we were ever going to get to really see. So I thought it was cool.
I like the character design of it. They didn't change who she was. Like, it was still the same costume, same everything. It was just white. And I like that certain characters, they do that too, where it's like, hey, we're not changing who you are or what you look like. We're just changing the rays you give out and your color saturate, your color concept. But I enjoy when characters still stay the design they are, because then it still kind of plays that double meaning. You are who you are, but you made the change for the right. And I really like that character choice. The way they did that was really cool looking in a whole. But also too, I like that even with that, I mean, she wanted the 10 rings, but with that closure, she realizes I didn't want the 10 rings. Just wanted, in a way, I just wanted to show that I can be better, not be better for anybody else's want, but just be better for who I am. And what Odin says, Odin realizes that too, that this journey, it was a dumb decision on my end. It was kind of a smart decision on my end because you found who you wanted to be. And like I said in the beginning, was I asking for this episode? No. Am I thankful I got this episode? Yes. I am thankful that I got this episode because it was a cool story, but a story that I think a lot of people in our real world could listen to and look at and realize, like, you don't need anybody's approval. Just do you and how you want to do it. So for the story and the way it was visually portrayed, I really liked it. But I liked the ending, and the ending sparked a what if question that I really want to see unfold. And that was the ending of Hela and Odin running up on Thanos and baby Gamora in that brief flashback that we got. Was it in Infinity War? I think it was Infinity War. That flashback of when Thanos first gets introduced to Gamora and first adopts her, and he's showing her that like balanced little metaphor with a knife based on life, that all things should be balanced. And you see Odin and Hela come rolling in to basically interrupt that genocide execution that he's about to portray on that town. So I want to see that what if, like, hey, because if that ultimately happens, I mean, well, then, I mean, I know we try to not compare it to the MCU, but we also try to find where it can take place. I mean, that ultimately puts a cut to everything we know, pre-Avengers, pretty much, because
like they literally could have rewritten, like they could have erased any drama we've ever seen in the MCU ever.
Yeah.
By having this team.
Yep.
David also wanted us to point out that this episode showed us how powerful the 10 rings are. Or, sorry, I called them the 9 rings earlier because I was thinking 9 realms, the 10 rings. So how powerful the 10 rings are. They're one of 4 things that can kill a god. So we found that out in this episode. We did not know that before from Shang-Chi. We did not know that they could kill a god. But now we know that they can. Storm Chaser is another one, which is Loki's hammer that he created. The Infinity Gauntlet, which no longer exists. It's destroyed. The Necro Sword, which we saw Gore the God Butcher carrying in Thor Love and Thunder. And then now the 10 rings. And David said that he hopes that Kahori, who we were introduced to in the last episode of What If, is the first powered being to be able to be power enough to kill the gods and Omega level beings. So David's hoping that Kahori is now one of the things that can kill a god. What are your thoughts on that, on Kahori?
I hope not.
I don't think I ever want to see. Well,
and the reason I say that is because then, I mean, from the little bit of knowledge I do know, if you're going the cultural base, why would someone of that storyline be looking to kill a god?
And I think that's why it makes sense to make her the one. Because what if we learn that she has the power to do that, but she will not do it because she has more integrity than everyone else?
I get
because
you,
we've seen her integrity. We've seen that she is all about protection. So, like, if she had to kill a god to protect, like, okay, let's go with the Scarlet Witch, Omega level being. Mm-hmm. What if Kahori is the only person who can kill the Scarlet Witch? And the Scarlet Witch is wrecking, causing chaos.
I think if they do that throughout the comic books and stuff like that, I think that's a wonderful, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I have it, but I don't need to use it kind of conversation. I hope that that doesn't. I mean, I'm still hoping that Kahori makes it to the big screen, but I hope that is not. Because obviously, we know the MCU does not bring a lot of characters' full potential to the big screen, whether they're watered down or overhyped. For me, I think that character especially being so new, I mean, then it kind of, you're almost cheating the system in a way. Like, oh, she's new and she can beat anybody. Like, I feel like that's just forcing somebody to be the almighty, like, of superheroes. And just going back on what I said a few episodes ago, then you're like Superman and then there's no real flaw. So why do we like you anyway?
Well, I mean, I get that too. And as you're talking, I'm sitting here thinking, like, we really don't want somebody that's indestructible. We don't want one person that can solve all of the issues and create world peace, because then we lose the MCU. Then there's no point.
I think having items that can kill gods is better, because then how you use those items determines who you are as a person, versus if you have a person. I mean, think about it. We don't have a person that could do this, and now we do. I think that takes the integrity out of it. I like having items, because then if you beat somebody and you take that item from them, then you have the option to use that item how you see fit. If you are that person and you have the almighty power, I mean, it kills the character a little bit. I mean, look at Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is borderline like that in the MCU right now, where it's like everyone talks about, well, why didn't he just open a portal on Thanos' head? Why did he just do this? Why? And you're almost like, yeah, why didn't you do anything?
And now we're seeing that we're seeing it going the other way with villains or anti-heroes when it comes to the Scarlet Witch. Like, so it's tricky to find that balance, because everybody has to have an Achilles heel.
Yeah. If they build her up to where, like, not to go back to like the original X-Men, but how we saw Jean Grey throughout films become the Phoenix and stuff like that, and slowly find out who she is, by all means, I'm all in for that. But I still would not want her to be able to kill a god, because at the same time, I mean, again, going back, like, then you have no flaws and you are indestructible to anybody. And we even saw the Eternals have a weakness. But
here's the thing. She is imbued with the Tesseract's energy.
Yeah. So then realistically, it'd be the Tesseract that is powerful enough to, and it's not her. But I mean, then it'd be interesting to find a villain that gets absorbed into another Infinity Stone and see that as their arch nemesis. Like, okay, you have the power, especially if you go ether, because then you have the blue and red, which just causes the contrast. If you have somebody, I mean, you already have, oh my gosh, I'm blanking her name. Thor 2, Thor's love interest, Jane Foster, absorbed the ether. Lady Thor. I mean, hopefully that's not where they go. But it'd be interesting to see somebody else absorb an Infinity Stone like that. Not like Vision, where he's powered by a Infinity Stone, but like absorb it, where now it is running through your veins and you are already a human being or a being of some sort. Be really interesting, because then Kahori can then take down that person and show, I can take down anybody. Where we don't ever have to see her take down a god or forced to take down a god. But if she took down like a villain that absorbed another Infinity Stone and said, hey, I took down them, I can take down anybody, that'd be cool.
We're getting more backstory, right?
Uh-huh.
What if her legend was already written by her ancestors? What if it was like a legend that was told, like, someday a girl is going to come to the Skyland and she's going to have the power to kill the gods. So we learn that she can do it that way, but we don't actually ever see her do it.
That'd be rad. I'm all down with finding out that she can do that without having to show that she can do that, because then I feel like it's like, well, then you're just that incredible. But that would be a rad approach, where it's like, or, one of her ancestors died fighting somebody in that, Forbidden Lake, and that's why that lake is rejuvenating power, because now that lake is one with her ancestors. That'd be a really rad story, where, like, almost, and not to go back to Middle Earth, but almost like a Lord of the Rings story, where it's like, hey, your ancestors could have fought them and destroyed them, but in return, she had to, like, give her life to beat them. And now we know. And it'd also be cool to know that, like, if she could take down a god, like almost like a bee. Yeah, you can take down a god, but when you do, you die too, like a phoenix, where you took down a god in this life, and your ashes are now one with the lake until the next pure soul comes to the Forbidden Lake. That'd be interesting, where there's a clause to it. Yes, you could take down a god, but at the same time, it's life for a life, kind of like the Soul Stone. It'd be cool because then the Soul Stone has that, where you find out each Infinity Stone has that soul for a soul kind of lifeline in different timelines, where it's like, hey, in this time, the timeline, the Tesseract was the soul for a soul. In another timeline, the Time Stone's a soul for a soul. That'd be very interesting.
I don't disagree. All right, we're going to wrap up because I know you've got places to go. We will be back tomorrow with more what if recaps for episode 8. What if the Avengers assembled in 1602? No, we are all very excited for that one because of the teaser we got 2 or 3 episodes ago. I can't remember which. Oh, the Captain Carter episode. So we got to see.
That was my other lowest score one, was the Captain Carter one. I forgot.
Well, you loved the ending credit though, right?
I did love the ending credit. I love the opening.
So we're gonna get 1602 in this next episode. So that's all for the Marvel Tribe. Feel the pulse in your chest so you know you're alive. One team, one love.
The Marvel Tribe.
Bye, guys.